Hello, my name is Jay Carpenter, and this is the Citizens Workshop on July 31st, 2021. It's a little bit after 11 a.m. Arizona time, and we are getting started a little bit late. I apologize for that. So let me kind of explain what these workshops are so that you can get an idea of what's available for you. We have these workshops every Saturday. Unfortunately, we're gonna skip a Saturday next week on the 7th of August, but generally every Saturday at 11 a.m. we have these workshops, and they're designed to do a deeper dive into technology around decentralization and the Internet of Things, as well as cryptocurrencies and so forth. And we're primarily focused on something called small board computers, which in this case is Raspberry Pi. So if you're not familiar with a Raspberry Pi, it's about the size of a deck of cards, very inexpensive and very powerful, primarily Linux server and full computer. So we have been focused, this is about our third or fourth week, I think it's our fourth week. And we have these sessions at Desert Blockchain Camp, which is near Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona, about 27th Avenue and Camelback approximately. The address is available for Desert Blockchain citizens, which you can join via Patreon, and it's $10 a month, and that's basically how the efforts are supported, and we don't take sponsors. We're completely community supported. So in any case, what these workshops are designed to do is do a deeper technical dive, start to do some educational events that introduce people to a wide range of contemporary constructs such as cryptocurrency, such as blockchain, Internet of Things, mesh networks, all sorts of fun stuff. Today, our intention is to show you how to remotely control devices that are operating here at the Desert Blockchain camps. And we're going to be doing that via Telegram. And Shane Sandler is going to be demonstrating that. And basically, it'll allow, well, the intention is during this session, you'll be able to get on Telegram, go to a specific location, and then remotely control from anywhere in the world the devices that are operating here in the Desert Blockchain Camp. And what we have is a tennis ball launcher, and we also have a water gun or water stream that you can operate. We also have a target range, and you can probably see a little bit of that in the screen share that's on your screen right now. Or actually, I see that it's maybe not on your screen at this point. But anyway, you'll see it in a moment. So that's our intention. If you're watching this on the live stream, you can post questions and comments in the chat. If you are a Desert Blockchain citizen, you should have received a Zoom link that you can join the session directly and ask questions and interact directly with Shane and myself and others that might be attending this. So that is your opportunity to get introduced to some decentralized construct, operate some devices remotely, and start to learn some things. We do intend to position these sessions so that they're particularly attractive to youth, youth ages 12 and up, and we encourage parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, any kind of relatives to bring your youth to Desert Blockchain Camp and basically get introduced to the contemporary constructs of decentralization and learn about what is new, what is next. I think this is one of the best ways for youth of today to really get their feet wet and get their hands on some technology it's really the setting the stage for the future. It would sort of like be being introduced to the internet just as the internet was getting started. So that's sort of our intention for today. And I'm going to see if I can play a video here of one of Shane's sessions. They're still loading, so that is not going to work right now. Sorry about that. So if you have any questions, any comments, you can send them to me, jcarpenter@desertblockchain.com. And you can find that address on the Desert Blockchain site, so desertblockchain.com. And feel free to contact me. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see, what you'd like to work on, please let us know. But that's what we are at work on here at Desert Blockchain, as well as Crypto Cannoneers, and we are open to having others participate, present, and so forth. So we also have a monthly session, which is on the fourth Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. Arizona time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We just had one on blockchain and wearables funding that's available through the state of Arizona, where they put up $5 million in matching funds to fund applied research for blockchain research or wearables research, or conceivably it could be both combined. And that was just on the 28th, which was last Wednesday. Today's the 31st. I encourage you to take a look at that. If you've got an interest in that, please let us know. We'll probably be having some workshops on that so that the community can get together, form groups that can apply for this funding, which should be available sometime. I believe the application will be open in September. So let's see what else there is to talk about. In August, on the fourth Wednesday, which will be August the 25th, we will have a panel doing a presentation on blockchain, on real estate and blockchain. So I encourage you to take a look at that. If you're interested, there's on our bi-weekly update, which you can find on our Twitter feed, which is Desert Block Hack on Twitter. If you go to the bi-weekly update, which was put out yesterday on the 30th, you go through that, you can find about a 65-page study on real estate and blockchain by Fabry, which we will have a representative from Fabry on the 25th of August talking about real estate and blockchain. But Fabry is a global consortium of people that are investigating, exploring, experimenting with, starting applications using real estate and blockchain. So you can take a look at their extensive report via the bi-weekly update, and I encourage you to take a look at that and then join us on the 25th. And you can join the Desert Blockchain, become a member for free via meetup.com/desert-blockchain. And I assume most of you are familiar with that, but that's how you can stay in touch, get on the distribution list, and start to become a participant in the community. And there's no charge for that. But if you want to become a citizen and support the endeavor for $10 a month, which you can put at any time via Patreon, then you can do that. You can get extra benefits like seeing the presentations a day in advance, getting podcasts that are available to you, recordings of the sessions that you can listen to while you're out and about and so forth. There are other benefits that we offer from time to time, such as being able to come here to Desert Blockchain Camp and participate live and operate some of this equipment, get involved in some of the workshops and so forth. So that's what's available to you, and thank you for your time and attention here. So I'm going to turn it over to Shane Sandler, and he can introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he's presenting today and how you could actually join via Telegram and control some of the devices that Shane has built and is running via Node-RED, IoT, Raspberry Pis. So go ahead, Shane.
All right, thank you, Jay. I am just playing with some of my webcams here. We will see how much, we can definitely still do all the back-end stuff and show how to connect Telegram to your Node-RED flows, so we can get into that. Some of the hardware in here has gotten wet, and so I'm not sure how much of it we're gonna be able to showcase today, but we'll at least be able to do the tutorial and build out the back end, and then we'll be able to go from there. So let's see here. Let me pull up screen share and show you an example of what we're going to be building. Let's see, I'm going to share my whole screen. Okay, so here we are in Node-RED. I have to reduce the size so I can get everything I need. All right, so we've just pulled up the Node-RED backend for what we built last time. And what we're going to be doing today is adding in a connection to the outside world. So, let's see. That one doesn't want to stay connected. So I can't show you what we're going to build yet because the other Raspberry Pi that's already got this pre-built is not up right now. So anyways, what we're going to do is be able to take a flow like what we've built here and essentially create a front end for it that can be accessed anywhere in the world over the greater internet. So if you've been following along with these tutorials, last time we built a nice little personal UI for controlling our water cannon. So once again, to access your dashboard UI, you just put in your IP address :1880/UI. And this gives you access to your dashboard that we built last time. Let's see if any of this stuff is functioning at the moment. Right now, I can't see any of the hardware moving, but we are getting connections here on the back end. Should be at least. Yeah, there we go. So we can go ahead and continue forwards with building out this connection. So the main issue, some of you might be thinking like, oh, why don't we just expose this nice little UI here to the greater internet? And you can do that. It is possible. It isn't natively provided in Node-RED because it's a bit of a security risk to expose either your entire dashboard UI or even just your endpoints to the greater internet. So doing that requires a fair amount of know-how and skill to make sure you do it securely. So one of the better workarounds for some of these lower effort and like less intense on the development side to create a front end UI is to basically use a third party that'll sanitize your inputs and make sure that nobody's sending you, nefarious inputs and trying to get into your system. So instead of exposing this UI to the greater internet, what we're going to do is create a connection to somebody else's, front end UI that we can access. So this can be done through any number of chat programs. So one of the easiest ways to go about this, when you're trying to find a potential way to plug in and build a front end, is you can go into the Node-RED library and you can search for, oh, let me go turn that off. Sorry about that. Like I said, we got some rain, unexpected rain here last night, and it collapsed one of our canopies. So we've got some shorts in the tennis ball launcher that it's just triggering on its own at the moment, and it looks like we fried a power supply for the water cannon. So we might not be getting any hardware running today, but it's mostly a software-focused tutorial today, anyways. So, anyways, when we are trying to figure out a way to connect the outside world to our Node-RED, one of my favorite options is to choose any of the highly available chat apps that are out there. So personally, I use Telegram. And since I'm pretty into the cryptocurrency community and Telegram is popular amongst the cryptocurrency community, that was my first choice. So I use this node right here called Node-RED Telegram bot, but there's plenty of pre-built packages out there that you can utilize for all sorts of different chat apps. I know there's a Discord one, I know there's a Slack one, and there's some that are actually multi-platform. So I think some of these packages can be used to integrate with Discord and Slack and maybe even Zoom or Facebook chat or any number of other ones that are already built. And then I think there's integrations for Twitch as well. Depending, oh, looks like there isn't one for Twitch. Oh, here we go. Just taking a moment. So Twitch chat, yeah. So you can utilize really any type of platform you want to connect to your Node-RED backend. And if you find a pre-built package that has what you need, that can make your life a lot easier, so you don't have to directly interface with those APIs, and you can just use all the tools that are right there available to you in Node-RED. So like I said, we're going to be using the Telegram one today. That's the one I have the most experience with, and I like the back end on Telegram, how they handle bots, and they make it pretty easy for you. So we'll go ahead and pull up this Telegram integration. So I really like this Telegram integration because it's very robust. As you can see here, there's a lot of documentation behind it. It has a lot of features, and it just really explains to you what can be done and how to do it. So I'm very impressed with this package. If my bot was working, I could show you a little bit better. Let me see if I can pull up the keyboard here. I think if I expand this out, normally when I use /help, I can basically get the keyboard, and it basically creates a nice little UI. I can show you on my phone because that one's already up and it won't have to connect to it to generate it. So using this Telegram UI, you can make a nice, this Telegram integration, you can make a nice UI here so that you have all your buttons and you can organize it however you want. And so basically you have a keyboard there that allows you to make just a clean interface. So that's one of my favorite things about using the Telegram integration, because you can get that nice visual interface and it doesn't have to be purely chat-based, which is really nice, especially for mobile users. So let's get started. So the first thing you got to do whenever you're bringing in new packages to your Node-RED is you got to come up here and you got to manage palette, and you go to install, and then you type in the module you want. So you can see here, I've already got Telegram bot installed here. If otherwise you would just see the install and you click that and then do its thing. If you're trying to make sure it's the right package that you want, you just click right there to expand, and it shows you, gives you all the documentation, shows you what nodes it's going to add. So you can see here, we've got these Telegram nodes that we're going to add, which I've already done that. So we'll just find them over here in all of our nodes. And here we go. Here's our Telegram nodes. So you can click on them and get the additional documentation when you're wondering. And then when you start to bring them in, you can get more documentation for them. So we're going to go ahead and work within this flow that we already have, so that we can integrate Telegram into some of these functions. So basically what we're going to do is just replace these inject buttons with a Telegram receiver. So we're going to bring in a receiver here, and this, as you can see here in the description, it tells you everything about it, from so what the outputs are and when it gets triggered. So it's waiting for a message to receive from the chat, and then it's going to output to the the rest of your flow. And this integration also has this nice feature where you can do a standard output or you can do an unauthorized output in case you want like admin only functionality. So we'll go ahead and take this Telegram receiver and we will go ahead and tie it into a debug node just for testing here. And we'll go ahead and wire it together, clear out our debug. And so the first thing we've got to do in order to get this Telegram set up is to create a new Telegram bot. And so this is where we're going to get all of our credentials so that we know that we're the only person talking to this bot and nobody else can mess with it and do any of that. So what do we want to name our Telegram bot? Let's go ahead and get into Telegram and build it here. And then we can get the backend, the Telegram backend, and then we'll go ahead and get it connected to Node-RED. So on Telegram, what you need to do is you're going to have to go to search, searching for BotFather. That is what it's called. The bot maker is called in Telegram. So if you haven't already started it, you have to open up your side menu here, and then you can go ahead and just search him and you start a conversation. Since I already have interactions with the BotFather, he's already here in my chats. So you get into the BotFather and you can, on the initial boot up, he tells you all of his commands, but you can always use /help. So what we're going to do, and so what's interesting about working with the BotFather interface is that it is a Telegram bot in itself. So anything that you see the BotFather doing here, you can also create a bot to do. So all of these like clickable links, instead of having to type the commands, that's all things you can do. I do have another good example of a Telegram bot for you. Here, this is Papaya Bot. So this is a bot specifically written for Stellar within Telegram. This is basically an entire Stellar wallet. And this is just got a really clean interface. It's got all these buttons, so you can choose what currency you want to send and if you want to trade and all sorts of settings. So this is a really nice example of a bot that you can build on Telegram. So this is through Papaya, which is the Stellar APay anchor, and it has just this really nice interface. It's one of my favorite Stellar anchors. So anyways, we will go back to the BotFather here and we'll get our new bot created. So you can type /new bot, or you can just click on that. So first up, we got to choose a name for a bot. How about we call it Water Cannon Bot? Oh, it would help if I can type well. Good, so that name is available. So that was just the name, and so we actually need the actual Telegram username. So we'll just do the same thing again. Water Cannon Bot. Oh, that name is already taken. So let's go with, how about Water Cannoneer Bot? Perfect. So we can go through and we can add descriptions and that type of stuff. So this is the important information here. So this is basically the secret key from this. After this tutorial, anyone will be able to see this secret key and mess with this bot however they want. So when I reproduce this bot for real production, I'm going to go ahead and generate a new secret key that isn't publicly available on the internet. So we'll go ahead and take this API key, bring it back into Node-RED. That's where our token goes. And we have to know the name, which is Water Cannoneer Bot. And so this is where we can set up like authorized users if we wanted to make this like an admin only bot or like have some private functionality. And we can set up how frequently it's polling the chat to see when it's waiting for messages. So that's your setup there for how you're polling your chatbot. So now we've got that in there. We've got our backend bot set up, and we can name this node. This is going to be, how about we just make this the fire node? So this is going to be the fire command. So now we can see fire going right into our debugger. And let's see. So next up, we need to build out some more of the functionality for this Telegram bot. So we'll pull up the BotFather menu again, and we can edit our bot. So we could change the name, we can set a description, his about info, his profile photos, all of these things. So this is what we need right here is we want to create a list of commands. So we will do set commands. And now since I've got other bots associated with my Telegram account, you can see them here. We're dealing with the water cannon bot. And the way that keyboard menu popped up there, that's how the keyboard menu works on my Crypto Cannoneer bot as well. So you can pop up those like answers for multiple choice questions so that users don't have to type them in. So here's the format that it wants. So our command 1 will be fire. And we can have a description, just be shoot some water. And we can go ahead and populate this command list with some of the other commands we know we're going to need. We know we're going to need an up. That'll be aim up. We know we're going to need a down. Aim down. And we know we need a left and a right. And we will leave it at that. So we will go ahead and send those commands to him. It looks like my format was invalid. I'm guessing it's because of the full caps. Looks like we need to do lowercase for the commands. So let me copy and paste that message in and fix the capitalization real quick. Fire, up, left. And right. Let's try that. Success. Okay, great. So now he's got those commands. And now what we need to do is go ahead and add him into a chat. We could just direct message him. And I can go ahead and show you that. Or we'll just go ahead and add him into the Crypto Cannoneers chat here. So since I'm the admin of this group, I can add bots. So we can go ahead and add a member. We can add Water Cannoneer bot. So that's the new bot that we just made. Go ahead and add him in. And now we should be able to see his functionality. So there we go. So now when we type in /fire, it's asking us which bot we're specifically talking to. And so there we go. Now we should be seeing this being connected and outputting to the payload here. Let's go ahead and change this to, oh, it's because we haven't deployed it yet. So that helps. So once we get this deployed, we will be able to see this working, hopefully. So we'll go ahead and deploy it. Not properly configured. That's some of this other stuff I've got going on in the background. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's try that again and see if it's connected properly. There we go. We see it pop up right here in the Node-RED debug menu. Perfect, just what we wanted. So now we have, that's basically all you got to do. That's a super quick rundown of building a Telegram bot and connecting it to your Node-RED backend. There are some really great tutorials out there on how to build like the Telegram bot that goes into much more depth on what I just built in the backend of Telegram. And there's also really great documentation in this Node-RED Telegram package here. I think there might even be a link, yeah, that talks about building Telegram bots. Yeah, right here. So right here in the documentation for the Node-RED Telegram bot package is the link to this really great tutorial on how to build Telegram bots with the BotFather. So all the information, if you need to go more in depth, is right there as far as getting that connected and built. And so now what we're going to go ahead and do is get this connected to what we're trying to actually trigger. So let me go ahead and move this down towards the fire commands and move this a little bit more out of the way. So I'm going to program this so that when that /fire command is sent off, it's going to fire both of our water guns. You probably saw in the last video that our water turret has 2 turrets on it. And so we can fire both of them simultaneously with this command. So we'll go ahead and get that wired in, and so that we can see it working, I'm going to go ahead and stick a debug node over here so that we can just see it working in the debugging menu over here. Go ahead and clear that out and deploy this. We don't care about that stuff in the background. And great. So now when we trigger off this fire command, we should see in the debugging, we should see a message pop up here. And then we should see both of these messages pop up. And then after 5 seconds, we should see the zeros pop up. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So looks like Jay, now that we've got 2 bots in here, you have to actually tell it which bot you're talking to. So as you start to type a command, it will bring up those command lists that we populated in the back end with the bot father. And then you can easily click, and it includes, you can type it out as well. You just have to type it out with the @ sign to tell it which bot you're trying to talk to. So when we do /fire at water cannoneer bot, you see it immediately pops up there. And then after 5 seconds, we're seeing that. Oh, since I only put the debug node on connected to this set, then we're only seeing it come through there. So one of the nice things, what? Yeah, you right into the Telegram chat here, you just put in, you can even copy and paste the message I just sent. But if you hit the / key, Telegram brings up all of the commands that were populated into the bot's backend there. There we go. So we just saw the command that Jay just triggered. There you go. They populated that out. And so if we had the hardware working, you would be seeing the water. I can actually hear the solenoid triggering, but we don't have the hose water hooked up today. So that is working. You're muted, by the way, Jay, if you're trying to talk to the chat. Go ahead and clear this out so we can see as we continue doing things. So you can re-click messages that you've already sent, and you can see as soon as I click that, the debug popped up there, and then after 5 seconds, you see the 0 popping up. One thing that I was going to say was that one really useful thing about troubleshooting and debugging using these debug nodes is that when you highlight a debug, you can see that it also highlights the node that's associated with. You see, so these ones are this node, and this one is this node. So that is really useful when you're not sure where you have something going wrong. You can put debug nodes after each thing, and then you can see how far in your flow things get. And then, like, if you're on another flow here and you're trying to figure out what node this debug is associated with, you can click it, and it'll actually bring you back to that node. You have to click the actual node here and see how it's flashing right there. And it'll show you exactly what node is receiving this message. So super helpful when you're troubleshooting and debugging new code and trying to get that figured out.
So Shane, if I'm on Telegram, I'm on Turret Cannoneers, and if I hit, let's say, up, and will this move it up?
That should, yeah. So that should be triggering that if we had that node in the flow. So let's go ahead and populate out the rest of our commands there, and then we should be able to see all of our triggers.
Sorry about that.
No worries. We were just doing the very first command there. So yeah, up is technically the water cannoneer bot. The Telegram backend is receiving that up command, but it's just not going anywhere because we haven't built the up receiver in our flow yet. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can copy and paste this node 4 times, this receiver node 4 times, so that we can get our other 4 commands. And let's go ahead and change the names of these. So fortunately, this is already populated with all of that secret key information for our water cannoneer bot. So that makes it really convenient. So this is going to be a left command. This is going to be a right command. This is going to be up and then down. And we'll go ahead and stick debug nodes on all of these so that we can get that feedback. Make sure we know everything that's happening. We'll get these all wired up. And we'll wire them to the actual commands here. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and clear out our debug console. We'll go ahead and deploy. All right, we had an error. I'm not sure where this error is. Since it's not associated with a specific node, we aren't able to click on it, but this, I haven't seen this error before. Error saving flows, IO error. I have not seen this error before. Let's just go ahead and try it deploy again, because since we've got these blue dots over these, that's saying that they're not saved and they're not deployed. So let's try that deploy again. I'm not familiar with this error message. It looks like it's having an issue accessing the home directory of the Raspberry Pi. I'm wondering if this has to do with water damage, which would be unfortunate. If we can't get this to work, we'll probably just restart the Pi and see if that solves it. Or we might even just be able to restart Node Red. So this will be an interesting little troubleshooting exercise. So let's go ahead and try one more time before we wipe out that work that we just did. All right, so it looks like that's not going to work. So let's go ahead and just first we can try just refreshing. That does mean we're going to lose all of our undeployed work, but that'll only take us a couple minutes to rebuild. So it looks like we're having trouble connecting back to this Pi. I'm guessing that the Pi is having a little bit of trouble because it got wet. So we're going to end up going ahead and resetting this Pi. Let's see if we can just connect to it remotely through SSH first before we just do a hard reset. So we can do this again, show you how we do it. We just type in, we open up our SSH client. I like PuTTY. We do 192.168.190. See if we can get connected. Looks like it's not connecting. So the Pi either lost connection to the internet or is frozen or crashed or something to that effect. So we're gonna have to go ahead and hard reset it. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it and plug it back in. Well, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in, but I'm not, it's also plugged into a monitor over here and I'm not seeing it showing up on the monitor. So it might have some water damage. Interesting that we got it to work for as long as it did. Let me go ahead and unplug it again and open it and blow it out and see if I can clear if there's any like water in there and see if we can get that Pi going again. Well, this pie might be fried. There definitely was some water. Not seeing the little green power indicator light. So let me fully get it unplugged, pulled out, really dried off, see if we can revive it.
Hey, Shane, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up? We're pretty close to the end of the time. And if you'll stop screen sharing, I'll kind of
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Let me
And
kill
you
the
can say
screen.
anything you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did get through the basic run through of how to build the back end and get it connected to the outside world. The big takeaway here is don't leave your pies in the rain.
All right. Well, thank you, Shane. This is the first time that I have experimented with the remote control feature via Telegram to control the devices, the ball launcher as well as the water sprayer. So this, I actually have it up on my phone, and I was getting the commands. This is really, really cool. I'm looking forward to more of these sessions where basically you can join us, you can operate these devices from anywhere in the world, and we'll have more commands and have this set up so that you can actually log on to Telegram and move the cannon around or the launcher around. We've got a target range here so that you can actually hit targets with the ball launcher or the water gun. And I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we won't have our next session will be August the 14th. We're going to take a 1 week break, but normally we'll be having these sessions at 11 from 11 a.m. till noon on Saturdays here in Phoenix, Arizona, and you can join us via Zoom if you're a Desert Blockchain citizen, via Patreon, or you can join us via the YouTube live stream and participate in chat. And so anyway, thanks for your time and your attention. We're building this, we're improving on it, we're fine tuning it, refining it, and we appreciate your interest and your patience. And I ask you to continue to tune in and see what is going on. It's a way for you to learn, a way for you to have some fun, and show others what is possible in this decentralized world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, the Internet of Things, small board computers, all of these things together. So actually, Shane has one more thing he'd like to say. Go ahead, Shane.
The other thing I wanted to say was that if you want to see some video of these launchers in action and the targets, I had a great test yesterday. Everything was running and wonderful before we had this big rainstorm. So that's available on my Twitch, and I'll get it posted up to my YouTube, and I'll share the links with Jay. So if you want to see some of these devices in action, please go ahead and check those out.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Shane. And please let us know, give us any feedback you have on this. If it's helpful, if it's interesting, if you have any suggestions, we would love to hear those. So thank you very much. Again, my name is Jay Carpenter and Shane Sandler, and we would love for you to continue to participate in these Saturday workshop sessions. So have a good weekend, and we look forward to seeing you.